Alright, Genevieve here, and I've got some old Gauntlet footage to go through and show you guys. So as you can see, this account only has 8 Brawl Dragons. I know that this is a red or a Furious round, and so I go in with some blues. So I've got Whispering Death and Toothless, because they're pretty much all the blues, you have that early, and then I went with Monstrous Nightmare, because at the time he was the strongest Furious I had. So basically, I'm just going to get rid of the weaker one first, so we have a level 1 and a level 2 Monstrous Nightmares opponents. I get rid of that level 1 guy, and then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the level 2. So as you can see here, if you watch, even though Monstrous Nightmare is a stronger dragon because he's a Furious, you can see that the swift attacks are actually more effective on him, and especially when you compare it with things like using the buff move that buffs your opponents, that works really well. And again here, the Lump, who is a Snafflefang, is level 1, so I try to get rid of him first, especially using that 2-bar buff move with the Swifties works really well, and especially early game, these opponents aren't too high level at levels like this, so you want to use that. I still like to use the buff thing, the debuff thing, the nerf thing, on other colors as well. It's just not quite as effective as on Furious Dragons. And there we go, that's round 1. Alright, so moving into round 2, I keep the same team because I know it's reds. Now they're both level 1, I just happen to choose the Deadly Natter first. There's not too much of a difference strategy-wise of choosing one over the other. At times you might choose one dragon over another because of turns and when one is coming up, especially if you kill one and then it gives bars to the other one that's coming up. So I'll try to go into that more detail some other time. But between the two of them, it didn't really matter. I got rid of the Deadly Natter, no rhyme intended, and then the Gronkle, the Defender Gronkle. So now we have the regular Gronkle. I almost always get rid of Protectors last, just because they have so much more health and it takes so much longer to get them down that it's really, you actually kind of cripple yourself trying to do them first. So I do them last, and they have the weakest attack too, so it matters less to leave them up. And there we go, that was the second wave. Alright, so for this next one, I change up my team a little bit, knowing the colors from my other game. You could know the colors by watching my videos. So I put in the regular Gronkle as a decent green. His ultimate is not bad for a beginner, and then I think I put in Rain Cutter. That wouldn't buy too fast. No, I put in Deadly Natter and Monstrous Nightmare, so I could have a stronger team, because sometimes it's nice to go in with a stronger team because you get done more quickly. So I get rid of the Rain Cutter first because Rain Cutter's level 1, that's kind of an obvious choice. And my green is most effective against the Rain Cutter, so I went ahead and used the Gronkle ultimate. So getting rid of this level 2 Furious boy shouldn't be too hard. However, if you notice there, that was green against red. Green is weaker against red, so that didn't actually get rid of him. Now this is why I chose 2 Furious, because I have 2 greens in this wave, so I'm going to want these Furious boys to get through all these greens. So I decide to go after the Thunder Drum first, I think just because I had the 2 reds, and so it was actually advantageous to go against greens. So this would be a time when I don't get rid of blues first, because even though greens have more health, reds have stronger attacks against greens, and weakest against blues, even though blues have the smallest health. So going against a green would actually be faster in this instance when you have Furious Dragons and you're faced against Protectors and Swifts. You want your Furious to go after your Protectors because they're stronger against that kind of dragon, even with the boosted health. Alright, so we have Smothering Smoke Breath and Gronkle. I don't like them doing the crazy attack on me, whatever you call that, blind. Okay, but we happen to get rid of that Smothering Smoke Breath. Heal with the Gronkle, probably didn't really need it because I thought there was another wave. I didn't really need it against the Gronkle, but whatever. And so then it takes no time at all to get rid of this last Gronkle, and I use the ultimate just to get it done. There's no need to drag it out. If there was another wave, I might have used a different attack. Alright, so going into the next one, I know I've got some Cunning Dragons to go up against, so I go ahead and equip all 3 green to go against all of these purples. There might be a different color in the final wave. I decided to go ahead and go with 3 greens for the sake of life and longevity. So even though greens have a weaker attack than any other color, they are still strongest against cunnings. So, I mean, as little as that looks right now, it is worse against any other color. Okay, Meatlug. Meatlug is actually pretty decent for a beginning dragon. It was hard for me because I got Meatlug at a small level later game, but Meatlug is really awesome to have as a new player. I need to show more videos of using Meatlug in Brawl and Gauntlet. But I go ahead and get rid of that Rain Cutter. Then the nice thing about Meatlug is Meatlug has this boost, this buff for green dragons. So I go ahead and use that buff, and that actually helps us get through this round faster. Look at that ultimate, and we're in the final wave. So there is that champion Whip Slash. I think I just get rid of it first, even though I'm weakest against reds. He's just nasty. I mean, he's just absolutely cruel. So, and these are both cruel, because Exotic Whispering Death is kind of cruel too. But Champion Whip Slash is nastier than Exotic Whispering Death. So I got rid of the Champion Whip Slash first, and then I'm getting the Exotic Whispering Death. This is why it's important to play lots of Brawl to get to know the dragons as playing with them and as opponents, because then you get to know who you need to get rid of first and who you need to block and things like that. So that one wasn't too hard, and this is the last level for this video. I go ahead and change out my team. I put in 1 Rain Cutter because I think I have some Swifties in this level, so that's why I put in a Rain Cutter to go against the Swifties. Alright, so yeah, we've got a Swift there, so the Rain Cutter's probably going to go after the Whip and Lash. So my green boys are going after the Soaring Sidekick. I decided to go with the Soaring Sidekick even with the Rain Cutter, just to get rid of that one, especially because he's also level 2. So even though blues have less health than any other color, the level 3 Swift is still going to have more health than the level 2 Soaring Sidekick. So got rid of him with my greens. That wasn't too hard. Go ahead and use the ultimate, and that way he can't cut down my power at all. I hate that debuff move. And I think we should advance to the next wave quite easily. And again, we have another Cunning and a Swift. I'm going to go after the Cunning again, because he's the lower level, even if the health is maybe about the same. No! I tried to go after the Seedling Rumblehorn, and it evaded me. That's not nice. Let's see, what do? I go ahead and do the ultimate, because I don't need to heal, and so I just want to kind of get down there. See, look at Meatlug. Meatlug is a beast. Meatlug's move is similar to Champion, Catastrophic Quicken, and Barf Embellish do the same thing, where it's a double attack, so it's actually quite strong. So we got rid of... Was that a Rain Cutter? I forgot already. Now we just need to finish up the Seedling Rumblehorn, and this is about done. I hope you learned a little bit from watching this and picked up some tips for how to do gauntlets in the future. Thanks for watching!